Hi everyone, my name is Nusrat Zahan Chowdhury. I am a PhD student in the School of Arts, Technology and Emerging Communication at the University of Texas at Dallas. My preferred pronouns are she, her, hers. Thanks for clicking on my link and watching my presentation. So my paper is titled as Digital Games as a Way of Reconsidering Care, Exploitation and Governance, an eco-critical analysis of Plant vs. Zombies, where I attempt a critical, ecological, and biopolitical inquiry of care, exploitation, agency, labor, and the human-non-human relationship based on the examination of a strategy video game by PopCap Games, Plant vs. Zombies. In my paper, I will draw on the material feminist scholarship of Donna Haraway and Puig de la Bellacasa to look through the ethico-political notion of care and labor within the gameplay of Plant vs. Zombies, and the instrumental relationship between the human and the non-human in-game environment. I argue in my paper that Plant vs. Zombies complicates the politics of care between the human player and the in-game non-human agents by mobilizing care as a mask to veil the inherent anthropocentrism in the game. I, in this paper, also claim that by naturalizing the labor of care of the plants and other environmental elements, and by foregrounding a complex negotiation of care and exploitation, Plant vs. Zombies warrants us to reconsider broader issues of neoliberal capitalism, biopolitical value in labor, and environmental ethics. Following this stream of thought, at the end of my paper I will show how the game Plant vs. Zombies renders itself as a simulation of the larger politics of governance and administration of the modern day through the concepts of Foucauldian biopolitics and Achille Mbembe's necropolitics. The game world of Plant vs. Zombies is situated in a fictional suburban house and in its yard. The gameplay requires the player to protect her house from the approaching zombies in a grid-based lawn by planting vegetables and flowers in the lawn, pool, or rooftop of the house. The players must obtain currency by collecting sunlight which can be gathered at daytime levels for free or by planting sunflowers or sunshrooms at night that produce sun money. The gameplay involves purchasing and planting flowers, vegetables, fungi, pea shooters, and other apparatuses strategically in the garden in exchange of the collected sun money to defend the house and attack the approaching zombies by shooting peas against them. In different levels, a number of different types of zombies approach towards the house to eat the player's brain. In brief, the game's storyline is that the zombies attack the territory of the house of the omniscient human player, and the game mechanism requires the human player to defend and protect her house by the strategic planting and unplanting of plants and fungi in her garden. Now coming to the human-non-human relationship in the game. A user-centered, ethic-based, theoretical, eco-critical framework for studying digital game proposed by Hans Joachim Backe stresses on the ethical engagement of the player with the game world. In Plant vs. Zombies, the disembodied players are given a degree of omnipotence that enables her to watch over the entire game territory and access all the available resources which she can manipulate or use according to her wish, just with a tap of the finger or a click of the mouse. According to Alanda Chang, this start quote, disembodied subjectivity is either meant to represent the player herself or some godlike agency, end quote. In contrast to that godlike agency of the human player, the agency endowed to the non-human plants and vegetables and even to the zombies are incredibly limited, if they have any at all. Each plants, vegetables, and zombies are given unique capabilities, yet they are not given any agency of decision-making. It is the sole authority of the human player to plant flowers and vegetables in the garden. Plants and vegetables are planted directly on the fenced territory, and the only reason to plant them is to save the house from zombie invasion. The plants get their nourishment on their own from the soil, and the player does not have to do anything to ensure the sustenance of the plants and veggies once they are planted. Human players are not accountable for the injuries or death of the plants and veggies caused by either being attacked or eaten out by zombies or being rooted out by the player herself for strategic purposes in the garden. The player does not require to do anything in return of the environmental services they receive free of charge. The quantifiable and collectible sunlight constitute the main financial resource capital in the game. The players can plant as many sunflowers, pea shooters, walnuts, and other plants as she can afford by collecting free sunlight falling from the sky or the sunlight produced by the planted sunflowers to defend her house. Nature and non-human natural resources as sunlight, soil, and water, the different types of plants, fungi, and vegetables can be interpreted as the care providers who provide quote, environmental services, unquote. Given the fact that human player is using the natural resources to protect her house, the gameplay of Plant vs. Zombies renders the implications that nature is a resource that can be used, extracted, exploited, and manipulated. The success of the game relies on how skillfully or strategically the player can use these natural resources, how much sunlight is collected, how well the lawn is utilized to plant flowers and veggies, etc. The human player depends on the nature for her protection, and nature here comes to the aid of the human agent in every possible way. In the game world of Plant vs. Zombies, the care from the nature and non-human agents is taken for granted, where the sun money producing sunflower, pea shooters, and other plants and vegetables constitute the labor of care in the game. Drawing on the material feminist ethics of Donna Haraway, Puig de la Bellacasa views the coexistence and interdependencies between the human and non-human natural worlds as an ontological one where care remains vital, and therefore calls for an ethical and non-exploitative form of togetherness of human and other than human agents. In this paper, I also argue that Plant vs. Zombies problematizes the understanding and negotiation of care between the human player and the non-human natural environment. Drawing on the scholarship of John Tontro and Bernice Fisher, Puig de la Bellacasa in her monograph Matters of Care conceptualizes care as, start quote, everything that we do to maintain, continue, and repair our world, so that we can live in it as well as possible, end quote. Drawing upon this definition of care, on a semiotic level, the gameplay of Plant vs. Zombies, which requires the human player to maintain her well-being and continue living by protecting the house, interprets as a game of self-care. However, it is curious that in the process of such self-care, the omnipotent human player who appears as the guardian or caretaker of the house exploits the natural resources of the garden, backyard, and the surrounding territory, which results in complicating the understanding of care in the game. The player of the game can decide wherever she wants to place a particular plant, whichever plant she likes the zombies to eat to save a more useful plants, or which plant to root out to plant a more powerful plant. These are instances of mere exploitation of the natural resources in the territory of the fenced garden of the homeowner human player. Each of the quantified and expandable sunlight as the commodity is a form of exploitation of the natural resources. This game thus warrants us to ask the question: how does the negotiation between self-care and self-exploitation takes place in the game world of Plant vs. Zombies? What does it mean to care for something while simultaneously compensating an integral part of that thing? This exploitative game mechanism is complicit with the political nature of commodified care, and this is how the game fails to engage the human player in a responsible and ethical relationship with the natural environment. Also, in the game world of Plant vs. Zombies, The plants are given human attributes and are mechanized by humans to behave like themselves. For example, the pea shooter shoot peas towards zombies like that of a human firing a gun towards an enemy. Such anthropomorphism establishes the superiority of the human being over all other non-human beings and tend to see the world in terms of human values and experiences. The sunflowers are planted to produce sunlight that counts as the currency of the game economy. Therefore, the relationship between the human and non-human agents in Plant vs. Zombies is an anthropocentric and instrumental one, where the human being is bestowed with the supreme agency who can manipulate and instrumentalize the other non-human agents. The final part of my paper argues that through biological resource control, resource management, and exploitation of the organic and biological entities, the game Plant vs. Zombies reinforces the neoliberal capitalist mentality of the present time by bringing forth the issue of biocapital and biopolitical exploitation. At this point, I draw on Foucauldian biopolitics and Achille Mbembe's necropolitics to show how this game reinforces the neoliberal capitalist mentality of the present time by featuring the zombie narrative, including living and dying of the plants and veggies as a mechanism of the resource control gameplay. Biopolitics can be understood as a political rationality which takes the administration of life and population as its subject, quote, to ensure, sustain, and multiple life, to put life in order, unquote. In managing population as economic political resources, the sovereign exercises, quote, the power to make live and let die, unquote, by exercising the disciplinary technology of labor through techniques of power such as birth rate, nutrition, medical amenities. The sovereign makes certain members of the population live and let others die. Stina Attibury argues, quote, through these techniques, individuals within this population are made to live in order to be more economically productive sources of labor and let die as part of the same political economic system, unquote. Although Foucault is primarily invested with biopolitics at the level of governmentality and nation-state, his theorization of biopolitics can easily be applied to the use of human, animal, and other biological entities in regard to how labor sources are structured around the concept of controlling and manipulating population. Similarly, necropolitics translate to the politics of death. According to Achille Mbembe, necropolitics is, quote, the capacity to define who matters and who does not, who is disposable and who is not, unquote. It provides a framework that makes us understand how governments calculate and assign different values to human life. The model of governmentality, biopolitics, and necropolitics is evident in the gameplay of Plant vs. Zombies, through the resource management mechanism which enables the player to control and manipulate the sprouting, living, and rooting out of the plants and vegetables in the garden based on the comparative value of those biological apparatuses. Also, the commodification of natural resources and care works indicates the neoliberal capitalist ideology inherent in the game. The principal strategy of the game is to fill the rows and columns of the grid of the lawn with appropriate plants and according to their abilities and values. In the game universe of Plant vs. Zombies, sunflowers are important as they give the players additional sun to expand the economy by generating collectible sunlight. Sunlight is the unit of currency that the player can collect and spend to purchase new items for the garden. The more sunflowers the player can plant, the faster she can accumulate more money, which makes sunflower a more valuable plant than others. In the game, based on the capacity of attacking or defending, the plants and fungi in the garden are given a monetary value, which allows us to think the plants as abilities machines which will produce income. For example, it requires 100 suns to buy a pea shooter, 50 suns for a sunflower plant, 50 for a walnut, 150 for a cherry bomb, and different other units of sun money for different types of different items in the garden. Biological and natural resources constitute the nature capital by their labor of care in the game, which is essentially commodified by attributing monetary value to them. Also in the game, the player controls the make, live, and let die of the garden plants by the positioning and arrangement of them. For example, the player can put a walnut in a grid unit to block off the zombies while the pre-shooter shoot feast at them. However, until their death, the zombies keep eating the walnuts, leaving the walnuts vulnerable and exposed to perish early in the second or third wave of zombie attacks. Also, the player unlocks a shovel after successfully playing the first few levels. The player can use the shovel to dig up a plant to make room for a more powerful plant to maximize her ability in combating zombies. The digging up or killing of a certain plant to replace and employ other plants reveals the fact that the lives of the plant as biological entities are controllable, manipulable, and expandable. In the pool level of the adventure mode, the player requires to plant lily pads to grow sunflower and other plants on them. However, although the lily pads provide necessary support to the player by carrying other plants on them, they are not allowed to breed any lilies. Also, as time evolves, the zombies grow stronger, which means the player needs to use stronger and upgraded plant weapons to tackle them. The player is always driven by the need to accumulate more money to buy more sophisticated tools, which epitomizes the capitalist society's drive for wealth and commodities in the expense of certain lives. The game therefore makes us understand the underlying motive of the government and administration at this present age of neoliberal capitalism. Can we think of the mindless zombies in the game as a manifestation of the agent of the state power who does not have any agency and self-awareness, for example, the law enforcing agency or other governmental bodies whose duty is to do only what is profitable for the state by serving well the economically and politically valuable members and ill-treating the ones less valuable? The colonial and racial history of zombie narratives in literature and media can also be translated to making ourselves as the slave of neoliberal capitalism that not only drive us to be productive but also profitable at the expense of lives and ethicality. To conclude, in my paper, I have tried to show how the game commodifies and quantifies the natural and environmental labor of the non-human agents, which reflects the anthropocentric value prevalent in the game. Also, the game problematizes and complicates the understanding of care and exploitation through the coexistence of human and non-human natural agents. Finally, the paper has also tried to show how this resource management game foregrounds the biopolitical and necropolitical exploitation of modern-day neoliberal capitalism by requiring the player to use, control, manipulate, extract, and expand the natural elements and resources. That's all about my paper. Thank you for listening. I would really appreciate your feedback, questions, or comments. Thank you.